In December of 2015, I visited the Philippines, flying from San Francisco to Davao City to meet my new friend Tabby in her hometown. After I met Tabby, I met her family, her sisters, her cousins, nieces, nephews, her brother, her church family, and her tennis friends. I went to church with her, played tennis with her, went to the island where she was born and met her sister and her family, where we enjoyed fresh coconuts right off of the tree from her sister's coconut tree. We also got to see where Tabby was raised on a farm and visit the house that her father built, which is still standing to this day. Yes, her childhood home is still standing, and we have been fixing it up. Also, the Seventh Adventist Church, which is on their property, we visited. We did a lot of walking on the island. We walked from her sister's house down to the ocean, to the little beach that was there, passing farms and homes along the way. We met her brother-in-law, who was our guide on this trip to the beach. Walking back, we passed a school where Tabby attended elementary school for a few years when she was growing up. And I got to meet her brother-in-law, who runs a little store selling goods called a Sari Sari store. We were there around Christmas time, so there was some people that came to the house and did some Christmas music for us. With Tabby's brother and sister-in-law, we picked some of the fresh fruit that was growing on their property. We enjoyed that immensely. After meeting her relatives on the island of Samal, we returned to Davao City, where we stayed at her sister's house and decided we were going to take a trip to another island in the Philippines. Tabby and I flew from Davao City to Cebu City, where we caught a ferry. While waiting for the ferry terminal, we saw these musicians playing in the ferry terminal. Once we got to Bohol, we were met by Tabby's cousin and her husband, who drove us and hosted. The whole family gathered at a beach resort on Panglao Island, where I met Tabby's aunt, who was in World War II on Bohol and recalls that event. We enjoyed cooking there at the beach in our little resort area. It was a great day spent there on the beach. After a few days in Bohol, we returned to Davao City in preparation for Christmas holidays. But we did decide to take another trip after visiting her neighborhood and her subdivision. We took a day trip up to Eden Resort with Tabby's brother and sister-in-law, where we enjoyed many outdoor activities. The hike, which was a little vigorous, was very good.
Ito, buhay na mga palay.
Eden Nature Resort was up in the mountains, so it was a lot cooler than the hot city of Davao. We enjoyed great views of the city below while enjoying warm weather and the terrific guides who showed us and took pictures of us while we were there. We enjoyed the beautiful gardens and the animals that they had there. Joining me on the 4-kilometer-long Eden Mountain Trail was Tabby's brother Bars, and Bars' wife Bing. Bing is a school teacher, Bars is a driver, and Tabby also is a school teacher. Morning. Debbie and I and her brother spent several hours at the Philippine Eagle Center. This is an 8.4 hectare area located in the foothills of the Mount Apo in Malagos, Davao City, situated in Malagos watershed. The Philippine Eagle Center primarily operates as a conservation breeding facility for the critically endangered Philippine eagle and other birds of prey. Our visit to the Eagle Center and Malagos Garden was on the final day of my 3-week trip. This day I had an evening flight scheduled to leave from Davao City to Manila, and then another flight booked that same day from Manila to San Francisco. By the time I left, we had planned to meet again, and just like General Douglas MacArthur, who left the Philippines during World War II, I made Davao to Tabby, I shall return. After leaving the Philippine Eagle Center, we drove to Malagos Garden Resort, which offers an all-inclusive hospitality experience, where we enjoyed their flowers and garden areas. I had lived in Subic Bay, Philippines in the early 1960s. On this return trip in 2015, I once again fell in love with the Philippines and the people who live there.